Hey YouTubers, it's me, Lonnie Clark, Nuts for Art. I guess also Beyond Extinction. That's the name of my new channel. I'm not quite used to it myself and talking to you about it. I always say Nuts for Art. Anyways, I just read my first installment of this book, Black Like Me, and I apologize. It went on for way too long. I read 16 pages. That took me 40 minutes. In the next videos, I'm not going to read that long. I'll pay attention to the time and I'll read for probably 15, 20 minutes. Which means I'll be covering probably 5, 6, 7, 8 pages a day. But I wanted to come back on and post like a little opinion piece here because the Republicans have literally lost their minds. They are honest to God, I think really what it is, I don't believe they believe in what they're doing. I think they are completely, at least 50% of them have to have been blackmailed into cooperation with the President Trader, because confirming Pete Hegseth as the man to run the Department of our Defense, the greatest military of all time, is going to be with a man who has zero experience, who beats his wife, who drinks, who's a drunk, who's been seen like at strip clubs publicly. It's beyond comprehension that that is what Republicans want to represent the United States. And let's don't forget Kristi Noem, the dog killer, who got, Homeland Security. So now we can feel good that we got a woman who's so heartless she can kill a dog taking care of Homeland Security. Like, these nominations from this traitor are a prime example of two things. One, Trump is a traitor, and he could care less about our country. It has all of these nominations have nothing to do with who's qualified. They have only one thing to do. They're all yes men. All of them will do exactly what the dictator wants. The second thing is they're all co-opted and corrupted. Beyond comprehension that these people actually know what they're doing. They have no concept of what they're doing. And for Trump to try to get rid of oversight boards today, what did he do? He fired, 17 inspector generals. These are people who look after corruption. And so he's telling us, when people tell you who they are, believe them the first time. It is shocking that people in the Republican Party want to dismantle our government and turn it into a third world country, literally, that has no infrastructure, that has incompetence and corruption at the base of it. And yes, I'm not saying that the way it was set up was perfect, and all of us know that the laws that have been passed over the last 30 years have done nothing but knock down our rights, essentially. But to take a wrecking ball with a traitor, with a man who is more loyal to Vladimir Putin than he is to the United States, is an offense to America, and it's un-American. I'm just shocked. And I am going to come out and say something like on the daily, because what we have are Democrats who basically are now going, oh, we need to work in cooperation. No, we don't. We need to give 100% fucking big fat wall to the Republicans and say, we're not cooperating unless you guys start acting like Americans. We need a strict line. And honestly, we don't need people like the Midas Touch explaining to us what they're doing wrong and giving us solutions that are completely white male privileged. Let's just be very clear. Those guys the whole time, don't worry, the Constitution's strong enough, it can withhold it. No, it can't. Not when you have a corrupt parliament, or Congress, not when you have corrupt courts, and not when the media is bribed out completely. I mean, for Jim Acosta to be getting demoted, for that lady on CBS News to get fired because she said that this is Sig Heil? Like, for real? Like, who the heck are the Republicans in this country anymore? What does being a MAGA mean? Making America great again means upholding our Constitution, not standing behind a traitor, President Felon, who is doing everything he can to harm our country. Every day for the last week, he's done nothing but harm our country. In fact, since he came onto the steps, coming down from the steps in 2015, he's done nothing but harm our country from the first day. And him coming down from the steps, by the way, it was not an accident. He did that on purpose to edify himself, because that's how you gain control and build a cult. Having his little hats, that's another tool of a cult leader. So he has studied how to control people. I'm not saying Donald Trump is an idiot. He's a traitor, but he's not an idiot. And he is a malicious bully, which is why after that lady in the church services said, "Please have mercy on the weakest among us," he came out with a fury and got all of his henchmen in the media to start calling her names and saying she was nasty and vile when she was very soft-spoken. Asking for mercy is not a left-wing agenda. And to have the Republicans in the House now try to come up with some legislation demeaning her and calling her woke, like just that phrase alone too, woke, is outrageous. It's un-American. We can have differences of opinions without calling each other names. So look, I'm just going to say this to you. I read the 16 pages of this. It was a very long reading, and I'm sorry I took that long. I don't have the knowledge on my cell phone how to chop that up and make it into a couple of videos. I don't have a laptop anymore, and I'm certainly not going to use my work computer for this work. So we're just going to have to go with whatever's on my cell phone until I figure out how to get a laptop, and then I can start doing some serious editing again. But anyways, you guys, put your courage feet on and let's stick together and let's start calling these people what they are. Un-American. This is un-American activity that needs to be called out. It is not crazy. It is not fascist. Norm Finkelstein is correct. They're not fascists, because in order to have fascism, you have to have resistance, right? But we don't have that. We just have an oligarchy. We have people who are intent, who have actually successfully taken over our government. And the only thing we have left is us. And if you think we're going to have a free and fair election in 2026, you are badly mistaken. The DNC made a grave error not calling for a recount. If nothing else, just to poke the bear and make them sweat a little bit. But the fact that all these state recounts and 3.5 million votes were purged this election, 3.5 million voters, legal voters, were purged from the rolls for no reason whatsoever, other than they were black or under 20. I think it was the statistics was like, if you were black or under 20 or 25 or under, you had like an 80% chance of your voter registration being purged from the rolls. And even if you found it in time, your vote was put into provisional ballots and likely not counted. If you were black, I think the statistic was 900%. You can go to gregpalast.com and look at all those statistics. Anyways, you guys, I'm going to go, and every day when I read, I'm going to come on here and give you a little message. And so put your courage feet on. It's up to us to be Americans and to remind the Republicans what being Americans mean. That does not mean calling them names, calling them idiots, calling them blah, 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 being mean to people. The time for being mean is over. The time for white supremacy is over. We need to unify. The environment is collapsing, folks. If humanity is going to survive, we are going to have to hold hands and join together. All races, all creeds, all religions, all people. So, put your courage feet on. Ciao.